I took an operations management class that taught me about, throughput and like all this stuff about manufacturing that ends up really helping me tons more than, so much. Restaurants, so I own some donut shops, right? Like restaurants that have way higher sales, way higher ticket prices, average ticket cost than me. Like we make more money than them because of operations management, right? Like, time and production and all these different things, right? So I learned about operations management, and you can't learn about that really. Like it'd take a really long time to learn, but like success leaves clues, right? And like I'm learning and reading about all these companies, Toyota and all these people who like really are masters of those things. And I'm like, how do I apply that to this furniture business? So
success leaves clues. That's a really insightful phrase.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I read that somewhere. I don't know. I'm sure I read it somewhere, but maybe it's mine. I don't know. But I think that people get caught in their own lane and like too big of fans of their own accomplishments that they won't look at other people and take cues from them, But I've just thought that like, man, what are these other people doing right, and how can I learn from it?
Yeah, I think that's one of the best things that ever happened to me in life was I had a really good friend. We used to joke and call him that he was the most interesting man in the world. Mm-hmm. And it was like a thing that we would say behind his back because he was like a ship captain. He knew how to drive like while shooting a gun out the window. And he was off the oil fields in Angola. Like he was just amazing, right?
Yeah.
And one time I was talking with him and I brought it up and I was like, yeah, Captain Gordon, Greg, you're the most interesting man in the world. And his face totally dropped. He went from being like really happy and he was like, oh my God. And I could tell something was wrong. I'm like, what are you embarrassed of? And he was like, I have my entire life always sought not to be the most interesting person, but to be the most interested. And all of a sudden it hit me. The reason everybody loved him was not because he had all these crazy stories. Mm-hmm. It was because he cared about what you had to say. And so you would sit there and hear his things, but you wanted to know it because he wanted to know so much about you. Like, and that opened up the world for me. It made me way more comfortable asking other people questions because you realize like, we're not in a competition. Like if I'm interested in you, something good will come out of that.
I'm so glad you said that, dude. Cause that's our like founding principle, and we tell everybody that we hire at Strange Donuts. If you ever get a chance to go to Strange Donuts, you'll probably be more impressed with our staff than you are our product. And I couldn't be more happy with that. And we talk about that. Like, and some of that is like, so what I did at the hot dog stand, and this is like through studying some other people, how to win friends and influence people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
as much as people make fun of that book is dead on.
Dude,
100%.
There's some stuff that needs to be updated, but like, people wanting to be acknowledged will never go out of style.
That's right.
And so at the hot dog stand, I would ask people, like, I'm like, man, the hot dog's going to sell itself. You're drunk. It's 3 a.m. I got this hot dog right here that smells ridiculous, and it's cheap. You can buy it, and I knew. So a couple things happened. One thing happened. I was a server at a restaurant while I'm doing the hot dog thing, going to school, all this crap. And this guy says, hey, you forgot my Coke. And I was like, oh, sorry. I'll be right back, sir. I walk a table away and somebody said, hey, blah, blah, blah. I took an order from him real quick. I walk right back by the guy's table and he's like, my Coke. And I was like, be right with you, sir. And he's just little, like, I wanted to punch him in his chest, like little bitch ass dude. And I was like, man, I'll be right with you, sir. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. My apologies. So I give the dude go back at his Coke. Later that day, I'm at the gym. I'm lifting weights. This dude walks by, the Coke guy. And I'm like, oh, now we're like both at the gym, I'm like a dude, not like the server. And he was like, oh, like looked at me and shook his head. And I'm like, oh, he's still upset about the Coke because to him, I am a server. I am not a person. I am not an equal. It doesn't matter that we both go to the same gym, that we live in the same area, that we speak the same language, that we look similar. You know what I mean? We might have the same interests. I am in a box to him. And I was like, man, I need to, and Danny Meyer, he wrote a book about it called Setting the Table. I think it's about restaurants, but it's probably one of the best business books I've ever written. And so he put words on it that I couldn't, but I was like trying to do this for a long time. He talks about collecting the dots and connecting the dots. Right. So at the hot dog stand, I started doing this, collecting the dots. Right. So I'd get pieces of information about people. Right. So, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Baltimore. Oh, crazy. Where at? My grandparents live in Baltimore. Right. Oh, they're like on East Street. Oh my God. My granddad grew up on East Street. Do you know this hill? We used to roll tires down that hill. Right. Now, all of a sudden, dude, I am not the dirty hot dog salesman, you know, who's standing out there at 3 a.m. Like, I am his buddy. You know what I'm saying?
Connected from Baltimore. That's
boom.
Right.
So like I gather these pieces of information about people, and now like, so some people would say, man, I can buy a whole pack of hot dogs for $3, you know, and like go home and cook them myself. Like why? And that's the truth. If you at Strange Donuts, if you run through the wall, you know, at our Creve Coeur location, if you're strong enough, you could bust into the donut case in Deerberg's, right, which is a grocery store that's next door to us. And they have donuts over there, 59, 79, 99 cents. You know what I mean? And ours are $1.25 to $25, $3, and $5. Right. And I'm like, so why do people like come here? Right. Why do people not go there and get a product that's inferior? It is. I mean, there's some stuff with the product, but really they're buying from their friend. You know, we tell people at Strange Donuts, like when we hire them, I tell them a little story, and I'm not the person that hires people anymore, which is a good thing for a lot of different reasons, you know, but like, we hire people based on like personality and, you know, them being able to like riff with people and have a conversation and just something interesting about them. I mean, there's a bunch of people that we have hired in the past, you know, they're like, you know, either special needs or, you know, bordering on like needing a lot of extra help. And we teach them because they're willing or have like a cool personality, you know, or we teach them like, this is how you interact with people. And so like to bring it to like, so these people are buying hot dogs from their buddy now. Right.
Right.
I end up getting like so many girls like at the hot dog stand, which always made you question them. I'm like, man, I'm the schlep at the hot dog stand. Like, how cool can this girl be that she's with me? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't date the hot dog girl. You know what I mean? Or maybe I would. I don't care.
Yeah, but if you're getting after it,
right, dude.
Girls like the guys that can get after it. That's for sure.
Yeah, the
right girls.
The right, no, for sure. And like, and it ended up being awesome. It was great. But that like people, I hear all these studies, you know, and one of the professors at WashU was like, yeah, you know, people that are entrepreneurs have, you know, a high level of self-esteem and self-assuredness. And I was like, man, it could have been more opposite than that for me. I had nothing, you know, I did this thing and maybe there was something in me that like allowed me to take this risk. But after I started like stacking up wins, that's where my confidence came from, not from like thinking I'm awesome. I think I'm a piece of shit, but like there's evidence that's contrary to that. Right. And so now I have these wins and like just in my personal life, like, and I think everybody can relate to this, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to watch football. My wife comes in. I bought this green dress. I really don't care about the green dress. Right. And I'm like, I could be like, I don't give a shit about the green dress. You're standing in front of the TV. You know what I mean? It's fourth quarter. Like I'm trying to watch my football game. And then you know how that goes.
Right.
You know, it's a fight. It's stupid. I got to clean it up afterwards. I feel bad about the way I treated her.
She doesn't get to celebrate the green dress.
We fight, and I don't even get to see the fourth quarter anyways,
right.
You know? So I started saying this, and this is like what you're talking about, like being interested in other people. There's this prayer, St. Francis of Assisi, right? It's better to understand than to be understood. Like I read a bunch of that stuff. And again, I'm like not this religious dude, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I try to take from where I can. But I'm like, so this is what I start doing. I'm like some experimenting. I'm like 3 questions, boom. So I'm like, so I make it a rule in my life. I didn't know what you did forever. We were like in the gym forever together. Cause I'm like, hey man, what do you do for fun? You know? And you tell me you like to ski or whatever. You do judo, you know? I'm like, oh, how long have you been doing that? You know, like, do you think that are you good? Could you beat up most of the people in the gym? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that's cool. Like, that's so much better than what do you do? And then you're like, I'm a plant scientist. Oh, Where do you go from there? You know what I'm saying? So like I do this with my wife. Where'd you buy that green dress? Oh, I bought it at TJ Maxx. It was on sale. I got it for $75. Crazy. Did they have any other colors? Yeah, they had. I was thinking about getting a blue one. There were some purple ones. They had a yellow one. The yellow one was ugly, but I got this one. I'm like, oh, crazy. Where do you think you're going to wear that? Like, oh, I'll probably wear it to Jenny's party or something, you know? And I'm like, you're going to look great in that, babe. Right? That, even with me explaining it, took 15 seconds. She walks away like,
everybody wins. Everybody
dude, and I'm
wins.
watching football.
Yeah.
And so we do that now. We tell people in Strange Donuts, you know, like, and it's not scripted, you know, like we, like, just so, like, so we start out saying for new people, when someone comes in, ask them what they have going on today. Like, cause we hire some awkward people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some weird people, man, that, whatever that.
And that's just different enough of a question to knock somebody off of their, oh, nothing's going on or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's some reason you come into Strange Donut. Because if you're going to that donut shop as opposed to just integrating it into your run to the grocery store,
right,
something's going on.
So I'm like, that's why I'm like, people are coming here to buy the donuts. You do not have to sell them the donuts, right? What we're selling them is a little bit of a break in their day, right? So we, like, Disney does a good job, right, of like disconnecting you from the reality out there to the reality in here. You walk through this big long tunnel, now you're in Disney. You know what I'm saying? There's a physical separation. We can't, you know, because of the money we have, we can't provide a physical separation from the real world to our donut shop, you know, because that square footage is costly. And, but maybe at some point we do, I don't know. But we provide like a mental tunnel. You know what I mean? What do you got going on today? Oh, I'm probably going to go to the park or whatever. Oh, crazy. What park do you go to? I go to this park. Man, I love that park. I take my dog there all the time. Right? Boom. And so now that person's like, and they're like, oh, what do we got here? You know what I mean? Like on the donuts. We ask them 3 questions and you got to feel it out, and people get better at feeling out about it. You know what I mean? Some people just want their donut. They want you to shut up. They want their stuff and they want to go. You know what I'm saying? But then, I mean, we form relationships with these people, you know, where like, I can't tell you how many weddings we've done. Hundreds, literally hundreds of weddings. We've had.
Isn't that amazing?
No less
Isn't that amazing? Like literally the night that people want to create the most passionate memory that lasts for the longest, the most special experience for those guests so that they'll remember it. And they want your
They
donuts.
choose us, dude.
That's phenomenal.
It's insane. It's still so crazy to me. I mean, there was like a dude passed away recently, and they came in, and this lady made a special order for some raspberry donuts, and it was something specific. And I just said, you know, ask that lady why she wants these donuts. And it turns out that her husband of like 50 years died, and for the past 6 years, like he's been slowly getting worse. And our raspberry jelly donuts took this dude back to his childhood, right? So I said, call that lady back and give her all those donuts, right? It was like 100 donuts or something, you know what I mean? It costs us, you know, $225 in lost revenue or whatever. But I was like, man, whatever. Like we're, you know, how big of an honor is it that like at this memorial, like everybody's like, because this was this dude's like favorite thing and reminded him of a time he was happy.
And that's it. That's the final memory marking moment. That is amazing, man.
So from kids being born to, you know, I mean, cancer survivors, they ring the bell and they come to Strange Donuts, you know, to celebrate, to, you know, memorials, to, I mean.
And you would chalk this up in large part to people being interested in the customers as they come in.
That's it. To people being interested in the customers when they come in. If you're selling just the product, we could focus on the product way more, right? And we do and we win Best Donuts. You know, we won Best Donuts in the United States. We win Best Donuts all the time. Feast, Sauce, all these food publications and stuff. We were in the New York Times. I was in Entrepreneur Magazine. I'm in all this stuff, you know what I mean, for the product itself. But like, we can focus on the product and have the best product. But like, man, screw up that product one time, you know what I mean? With like the art of baking, you know what I mean? You can have a shit product. Sometimes our donuts are trash, you know? And so like screw that up one time, dude, and you don't have a relationship with the customer. Good luck seeing them again,
right?
You know? So 100% it's because of feeling interested or them feeling like we are interested in them. And the key is we truly are interested in them.